All right then. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you all again. So welcome to live QA number 31. Hope everyone's doing well. And I skipped last week. I was away with the family. It's Chuseok over here, which is kind of like a winter or before the winter harvest kind of thing. So there's like a holiday over here. So just went away with the family, and then I'm back this week. So hope everyone's been well since then. Yeah, you may know what we're talking about today. We're talking about the wonderful tuning of FACGCE, and that was an idea that I called what was it? Always intended, which is obviously a play on never meant, the opposite of that. And I put that out on Friday. So if you missed that one, you can find that on my channel. And I just played the riff, the lick at the end there, so you can see, how it's how that influenced what I wrote there. So who have we got in the house today? So XD, good to see you again. We got Rivera, morning. Deferd, what's good, bruv? Feeling good, thanks. Tuned to FACGC, very apt. You have been summoned for this live stream, of course. But it's good to see you again. A lot of familiar faces here. This is great to see. So if you are new to the channel, and if you are new to these live streams, then welcome. I have a board with welcome written on it here, but I don't think you can see that because of the lighting in here. But anyway, what I usually do for these live streams is I have some kind of lesson stuff at the start just to try and help you out. And I'm not the go-to person when it comes to alternative tunings, but I'm just going to give you my how I feel about them and what my knowledge is of them basically at the moment. And then after that, this kind of sets up a topic, and then you can just ask me some questions, and we can just chat amongst yourselves as well. You're more than welcome to do that. Some of you probably have a lot more knowledge than me with alternative tunings. I like to use them. They sound wonderful, but my go-to, my comfort is definitely standard tuning. So, okay. Thanks TubeAmpCat for the generous donation. From Russia, right? Excellent stuff. Okay, so that was my example in the intro there. I wrote it last week over a period of a couple of days in the evenings. I'm having some problems with one of my Strymon pedals. It's making noise, and I need to work out why. I don't want it to die, because you know how much those things cost. Right. So with that lick, obviously I copied the rhythm of that and then changed it up a little bit. But how I thought of this idea was, let me just try and get the guitar in the frame here. Playing like a lot of us when we play in open tunings, we think of like the harmony and the melody at the same time, even if we're not really explicitly thinking that way. Implicitly, the things that you write end up being that way a lot of the time. You have like this droning note, and then you'll play some kind of melody over the top of that. So that's exactly what I did with this idea. I had this C string, so I saw that as like a C major chord, so the first in C major. And then this A string, I saw that as like A minor, so C major kind of sound. And then when we come to this A, to me it sounds minor, right? A bit more somber. And then we come to the F, which is, if you're familiar with your keys, then that's going to be the fourth of C major. And then we had these like, if I could have played them right, these like harp harmonics there. If you want to know how to play those, then you place your index finger on the fret. You're not actually fretting it, and then behind you do a little flick with your thumb, and it has to be the octave up from whatever you're fretting as well to get those done. Right. Yeah. So that's how the idea came around. I based it around that 1-6-4 progression, and then it and back to the start there. So that's just to give you some some background, and if you're interested in, if you haven't tried out any alternate tunings, then that tends to be the gist of what most people write. It becomes a bit more complex and complicated, obviously, when you add another guitar player or other instrumentation. Then I'm not going to go into those kind of things today. I'm just talking about like pretty much where to start with this tuning. And like a lot of us, I think this was probably the thing that drew me to this tuning. I believe there's is it Rain by Rob Scallon as well, because he's heavily influenced by American football. I think that's in the same tuning as well. If anybody's learned that, you could let me know about that. So there's that there. I've just got notes written here. That's why I keep glancing down here. So why does it sound good? Why is it different from standard tuning? So there's not actually much to change. You don't have to worry about breaking strings, anything like that with this tuning. So your low E is tuning up a semitone to F, and then your A is staying the same. The D is coming down to going down a tone to C. G is the same. Your B is tuning up one semitone to C, and then your E stays the same. So only 3 of your strings have changed, and I've not changed that much. I have a bit in my my math rock e-guide that explains like what makes particular open tuning sound good, but the general gist of it, if I was to put it into a quick summary, Rain is in standard. Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, just I don't know why it felt like it was in a different tuning. Thanks for that. Where was I again? So yeah, so with this tuning, basically now it's tuned to a chord. In this case, it's tuned, I believe it's tuned to an F major 9 chord. So yeah, that's why it sounds nice in that regard. These two add tension, right? They're only a semitone away from each other. But because they're so spaced out, that tension is somewhat reduced, that minor second. Yeah, so that's why this sounds particularly good. One thing that's quite difficult with these tunings is like finding appropriate chord shapes. What I tend to do is I just use my ear, I throw my hands on the fretboard, and I'll find the root notes for things, and then I'll just work out these chords, and then I'll put them into something, and I'll have these crazy names, but essentially I'm using them to function as a chord progression within a piece of music. So I just want to share with you a couple of chords. If I go back over to OBS, chords, there we go. So these are taken from a video I did a year or so ago, I think. And I'll look at this for now. These are all starting from the 6th string root. So starting from your low E string, obviously it's tuned up to F, and I believe I did this in the key of A, so it's F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. So we're going to be on the 4th fret for this one, is that right? Just so I don't have to rewrite these chords again. Oh, by the way, I hope the levels are loud and clear, and I'm not what's the word? Peaking, that's the one. On the gain. That's the sound of the Strymon pedal. I've got the right, more than enough milliamps for it, but it's making a noise. Right, just bear with me while I retune. Okay. Yep. So you could look at this as a chord already. Like I said, it's like an A, in this case A major 9, and then your B the 2nd here. Look at these crazy names. a B minor 6/9 plus 11. I'm not sure if that's correct. It was, that's what I put it, what it came out when I put it in. Yeah. F sharp minor 9. E major add 9. D sus4 sus4. I don't think that chord name's right either. Just ignore the names, know the chords. Turn off the tape delay. And the reason I made them like this is so you can have that the open strings ringing on each one of them. So I'm just giving you these chords. I want you to take them away and have a little play with them. They do have a function. Again, I've got some key thing here that I'll move around. You can see why I'm slightly sat over to the other side of the screen here. So each one of these chords is essentially playing a part within this key of A major. So you can see there's A major 9 is going to be the first. This B minor 6/9. We're just going to look at that as a B minor chord. Is the second, and then I've got this one functioning kind of as the third here, and then you got your D, which is the fourth. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I missed it. No. Yep. That's right, and then your fifth, and then the sixth here. I didn't add the diminished in for this one. So there's a bunch of chords you can take away and just have a play with and start writing with. There's no fifth string roots or fourth string root chords here, but in the math rock guide I did add the fifth string roots at least in that, so you can go and grab that there. And what was I going to say again? So just experiment with these, these progressions. Have fun with them. There's no right or wrong thing to do. So find what works for you. So the last thing I want to look at before we get to some questions. Apologies if this is taking too long. So songs to learn to start with in FACGCE. I do have a video on like 4 or 5 riffs in FACG tuning, FACGCE tuning, sorry. And this was one of them. Okay, so let's go down to the 3rd fret. So one of the first riffs a lot of us will learn is the, never meant, of course. But if you find that a bit too difficult for you, then I recommend trying out Crocodile here. So. And it has that, like, it's quite easy to play, but it definitely has that typical math rock or typical thing of TTNG. Is like, where is each bar beginning? Because it's just a phrase that just, feels like it flows. But it's a fun one to learn. As you can see here, I've put it into a bar 3/4, 5/4, and 2/4, just to separate each part into separate chunks. But that might not necessarily be how the song goes. So that's a good one to start off with as well, with Crocodile there. And all of these things today, these chords and stuff like that, I'm going to put onto my Patreon page. So if you want to go over there, you can support. And I've put them under I changed it to the $1 tier. So if you want to support the channel as little as $1 a month, then you get like access to all of these materials as well as everything that I use in my main videos as well. So the last thing I want to share with you today, I'm just going to have to retune, and then apologies, I will get to some of these questions. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, it's whenever I put the polytune on, I can hear the noise, but maybe it's there all the time. I'm not bringing you into solving my pedal power problems, but yeah, I think I need to just get another nice power supply. There we go. Probably not getting enough power to it, right? Yeah, so so this is a band called Colossal, and the song's called Hot Probs. The album is Welcome the Problems. This one's in that same video, and it's just a fun little riff to play. What was it? And again, that one's in that video, and I'll put the tab up on Patreon as well. But that's a really, I'm not sure how many of you know Colossal, but I really love that band. It's a very, very small, lesser known kind of math rock style band. And I believe that song's in FACGCE. When I did it, I put it on Instagram. You know, it's going back a couple of years now. And then Pat, one of the guitarists from the band, reached out, and he was like, you know, thanks for doing that. And I asked him, is the tab right? And he says, like, what you're playing is like a bit more complicated than what I did, but it's pretty much spot on, so I'm just gonna keep it as that. But yeah, so just to recap, good place to start. Use some of those chords that I had. Think about your harmony and the melody that you're playing. Use your ears. You know, if you know, certain notes are gonna sound good. And other notes are going to add different kinds of tension. So just, you know, I didn't automatically come up with that riff. I sat down for a while and noodled around, right? So, yeah, harmony, think of your melody. Learn Never Meant, of course. And then if that's too difficult, go to Crocodile by TTNG and have a play with those chords that I gave you. And if you want to learn some more about that, there is a section on alternate tunings in my math rock guide, and I'm currently working on an update for that because it does need some more to it. There's riffs in there and there's chords, but there's certainly a lot more I could say on that subject now. All right, so back over to the chat. Apologies, where were we? So we had Tube Amp Cat, so thanks for the generous donation again. Rain was in standard. Okay, Matthew, so the cover was the main reason for trying out different tunings. Yeah, so like the Talman, it comes in, you know, FACGBE, so the B stays standard on that one, and that's a tuning that she likes to use a lot. And yeah, that was, especially going back to like the first record, you know, Currents, the EP, that's a lot of that is in that tuning, and yeah, that was a good place to start for me with that as well. But you know, those riffs are difficult, right? But they're worth learning. All right, so Future Acoustics, hi Steve, hey. All right. Okay. That D sus, yeah. Actually, I don't think that's right. It's probably supposed to be D sus 2 sus 4, but you know, I make a lot of mistakes all the time, so you can't have 2 sus 4s. I did play Never Meant for you. I hope you liked that. The Never Meant police might be watching though, as XD says, so we need to be careful on that one. Crocodile is a great beginner riff. I feel like for that one. All right. Okay. Just to let you know, a lot of comments again hidden. If you swear, just YouTube does that on purpose. I don't know. But a very fat man. They said, I had a guitar for about 15 years, but never really practiced and can't play for shit. Or, but boy, do I think about it all the time. Okay, interesting to add onto that one. Yeah, it's really fun to play also, yeah. It's actually, even though it's like, you know, just straight, like, what we're looking at, like eighth notes. It gets a bit confusing because it's hard to tell where the the main beats are. But Mia says they're now stuck in D, A, E, F, C. Okay. Your capo broke. I would give you this one. I got a spare one. Yeah, at one point I had loads. They seem to be things that you just lose all the time. Hence why I never buy an expensive one. All right. Okay, Binface, good to see you again. How do you pronounce FACGCE? Yeah, I think I put it as like FACGCE on that the Midwest emo tutorial, just for a laugh. Okay, hey Jose, who else we got as well? Carly Trucks B, hi, good to see you. Yeah, okay. Who's that? Syrian Morris. I'm sorry if I say your name wrong. I really need to get my eyes checked. I'm only sitting about 2 foot away from my monitor and I'm having to squint. But hey, thanks. Right. Can it gent what the Telecaster? I guess it can if you probably not in this tuning. Need a lot of gain as well. I'm staying away from gent. I tried to do it and I got ridiculed, and I don't listen to that style of music, so why even try? Bell and Sebastian by TTNG is another good riff. Okay, thanks Riviera, sorry. Yeah, for FACGCE. Jose, how long have you been living in South Korea? Coming up on 10 years next August, so it's been quite a while. Alan, hey, son of man, nice. Okay. So going to go about 20 past today, as long as the questions keep coming in, of course, otherwise I'll have to end it early. So about 20 past 10 for me, so 25 minutes from now, and then I need to prepare for my first class for the day. Okay, Andrew, this may be an odd question, but I'm a saxophonist and who has been trying to capture the feel of math rock on the instrument. So what do you feel is the most important part of the guitar sound to capture? Okay, I really don't know much about like going into that world, with saxophone especially. How can I help you out with that one? I don't want to give you a lame answer, but I feel like everything I'm going to say from now is not going to help you. So for that, well, I'm not sure how you've learned saxophone. Perhaps you've learned, the traditional way of everything has to be smooth as possible. So your note choices are, they're not going to be jumping around erratically. The guitar tends to have big interval jumps just because of the way it's laid out, right? You've got like these open strings in that riff, for example. That's a big, going octave to, non-octave, if that's a terminology there. And then, so it tends to be just solely, but when using these types of tunings, you're going to have a lot of open strings a lot of the time. So therefore, the interval jumps are massive a lot of the time. And that's a typical thing, especially being like angular as well. So we're not writing, I wish I was in standard now. So let's say like there's your major chord, right? So traditionally, you probably, as you've been learning, everything that you're writing, or perhaps not everything, sorry, I'm making generalizations there. So like things are being quite smooth with the stuff that you've been learning. There's not particularly anything that's quite out there. So, and it really depends on what style, the math rock, I tend to put it into like geographically it's different, but also in looking at each decade it's different as well. It evolves, it combines different styles with it, and that's natural, that's evolution of music, right? So depending on what you're going for, I'd say okay, sorry, I was just seeing if you answered back there, but try to look at the distances in what you're using, the intervals that you're using. Perhaps even try and learn some of these riffs that are written for guitar on saxophone. And I think that will start to, especially if you've just been playing very conventionally, you start to notice like how it's like not as thought out. It's not very traditional approach to playing guitar. So that's my best answer for you for now. And I'm sorry if that's sucky for you, Andrew. But yeah, I hope there's something in there for you. Okay. Asphobe, is FACGCE the easiest emo or math rock tuning to start with? I'd say if you've been learning in standard and you'll have like a built-up knowledge of where like arpeggios, where chords are, then I would go the route of learning in standard. I think you should do that anyway. Doesn't matter what tuning you choose. These things are very important. So it's probably one of the easiest alternative tunings to start with. That's for sure, I would say. So yeah, if you're looking to get into it, what I've just shown you at the start of this video as well, if you weren't here at the start, just watch it later and just look at the start of this video, I would say that's a good tuning to start with. Okay, Jose, good. Yeah, Elm by Clever Girl. Yeah, it has a lot of saxophone in that one as well. But again, I'm wondering, because I don't play these instruments, so I really don't know with that. I've having like brass instrumentation on some kind of math rock song is really cool. So every time I'm just thinking of like American football, the one with the trombone. I just saw there was a meme I shared where it was like some drunk guy on some stairs playing trombone, and then they put that song behind it. And anyway, it is hilarious. So yeah, perhaps learn those kind of things. And thanks for that input there, Jose. I forgot about that. Okay, carrying on down. Okay, just looking for questions. Sorry, you're talking amongst yourself, which is wonderful to see. Right. Okay, yeah, so they only have so much in there. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure I can help you out here. Jav Katakov. I was going to call you Junior. So debating on playing a place, I really don't want to, or should I stay home? Should I do it for the exposure or stay home and practice instead? So I would recommend going to do the show like I'm doing these live streams. You can play perfectly when no one's watching, but as soon as like there's a camera or someone's watching, it's a completely different ball game. It really depends on your personality. I'm quite introverted, so I have a really difficult time exposing myself in that regard, but I always feel better for doing so afterwards. So if you're like that, if you think you're that kind of personality, I would recommend it. And it seems to be, because you seem to be quite reluctant to go and play. My advice is just make sure you practice. You feel like you're ready for it, and then when it comes to it, like for me, just it's hard to keep your focus just on what you're playing in the guitar, and try to keep your mind from not wondering and thinking about what they're thinking, who's watching. Okay, that's a very difficult skill to master, I feel like. So I'd say go for it. The more you expose yourself, the more practice you get, the easier it will become. But like any skill, if you stop doing it all of a sudden, when you go back into it, it will feel a little awkward again, obviously at first, but you'll pick it straight back up again. It will start to feel familiar. That's my advice, but do what you want to do, okay? I don't want to push you to do something you don't want to do. All right. Okay. Do I like Trico? Yep, I do. I'm trying to get into more of their records. I'm looking at their earlier stuff, and I'm enjoying that a lot so far. why single coil? I'm not sure if you mean the Telecaster. Just okay. It might be asking somebody else there, but for me, I like the sound of single coils with clean. But to be fair, I've got no preference, to be honest. Like when I play the Les Paul on clean, it just sounds, I'm really into that as well. So neither nor, if that's the right term. Okay, how are we doing? 10:05. Okay, thanks for these recommendations, by the way, for Andrew. This is great. This is you have more input. Everyone has their own of knowledge about stuff that I don't know. Okay. Good question here from Jordan. What is the math rock go-to progression? With math rock, again, it's hard to define, and everyone has a different definition of it. So typically, there's not really a solid progression in a lot of the more experimental stuff, the more of the dissonant sounding math rock. However, in those songs, there are sections where it becomes quite melodic sounding, right? So there are things to glean from there. For me, I'm very rooted in like pop conventional style progressions, and I really get drawn to that like the Japanese style progressions, because you can hear in a lot of Japanese math rock there's that pop sensibility to it, right? There's definitely this, they've taken this like J-pop almost progression and put like a math rock twist on it. So there is those kind of things. I've got a few videos about those chord progressions. I did one not too long ago where you have that like 4, 5, 3, 6 progression, which sounds really, really nice. And the one I played at the start there, like the 1, 6, 4, is a nice one as well. Again, I'm in a different tuning, so. And I have, they may look like they've got strings on them, but only, I don't know, the Les Paul's got strings on it. Maybe I'll grab one of those. But there's no really go-to progression, but I recommend learning a bunch of progressions. All of these songs as well, like by some of your favorite artists, they are based on some type of harmony. So my recommendation is not too difficult to work out. Even if you work out the bass, listen to the root notes, and you'll be able to put that chord progression together by just playing each chord with the other one. You'll start to notice, because everything will fall into this very diatonic sounding chord progression within a particular key. So even if you learn the root notes to a particular section in a song that you like, you'll be able to place that most of the time within a key, and then you can use that chord progression. If it's something that catches your ear, please, I really recommend just learning what those root notes are. Don't try and work out what the chords are fully, because that's another challenge in itself, and especially with two different guitars. But you can work out what the root notes are at least, and then put that to those those triads that you learn, those open chords on the neck. And then you can start to experiment with those chord progressions, and then you can try and work out what those chords are, exactly what they're using. But also, if there's videos, watch those things, because like like Delta Sleep had like one of their newer tracks, View to a Fill. I forget the name anyway. That one, there's really some parts of that I was like, damn, that sounds good. I want to learn that chord progression. And I was like, just sitting there like, okay, here's the root note, but what the hell is that chord? I can't work it out. So then I just want to watch the video, and I was like, okay, that's why I can't work it out, because it's just, the crazy chords. What time are we at? 10 past almost. Perhaps I'll just grab another guitar just to show you that quickly. Make sure I mute though. Mute. No. Okay. All right. Alright then. I won't bother with driver. I redid my pedal board the other night and I haven't gone through everything yet. Anyway, in that song, Sacrilege, playing Delta Sleep on a Les Paul. But to be fair, he uses a deluxe, which is pretty much a Les Paul, right? 2 humbuckers. So yeah, in that song, for example, like there's that chord again. Like it'll take me a while to work that out by ear, and then it comes down. But you can tell it's got the same, ringing strings, throughout it, right? And again, with that progression, you could learn. You could work out those root notes from listening to the bass that comes in the next section, and you could take those chords then, right? Like a B to A, D, G, and then E. So that obviously sounds minor, right? So if we go this first chord again, where are we? This B. Again, it sounds like a B minor to me. And then to A major. D. It's going to be major, right? And then G. So you could work that out as just, basic chord progression, right? And then obviously they took that and made it a lot more mathy, a lot more interesting, in my opinion. But that's a good way to start learning chord progressions in the songs that you like. I went off on a massive tangent there, but I think that would help you and a few other people, I hope. Anyway, all right, excellent stuff. Sorry, so I got 8 minutes cutting it down to the wire. Right, it's going down. Where were we? So thanks for the question though, I hope that helped you out. Jordan. So Algam, good evening, good to see you again. I've not listened to Origami Angel, John. Yo, Hey Wonder, Origami JP. Okay, I'll have to check them out though. Okay, Andrew, thanks for following up here. Yeah, I've been classical jazz and jazz player for a long. Okay, smooth. It's not the most smooth. Definitely doesn't approach. Okay, yeah. Like I said, they're very different instruments. So yeah, have a look at that. And apologies, I can't help you any more than that. Nate, naughty, watching you online in class. I got to teach a class at past. I hope no one's watching live streams when I'm doing that. Yeah, of course, Shao, learning classical guitar is going to up your chops, definitely, with math rock finger picking, for sure. It should take you above the level. That's great. Okay. Yeta Bium, any advice to not letting strings ring? Oh, sorry, when you play riffs? Yeah, depends on, what it is you're playing. Unless if the string's obviously supposed to ring in that regard. But if you're playing a riff like... I'm always got my index finger muting when I'm not using it. So it's like choking off anything. So that would be the best option for that. When you can't use this finger, then sometimes you have to get a bit more ingenious with your playing. Two-handed tapping stuff like same goes there as well. So I'm always muting by lying my index finger over the top of these strings. Otherwise, you know, especially when you add gain to the equation, right? You're getting a lot more ring there. Obviously I got reverb on. Dry, lots of gain. So when you're not muting, you're getting all that sound, right? Which you don't want. So then if you just mute with the index, so then you're not getting any sound at all. If it's a riff like you know, I did the joke of just taking the strings off because I was restringing the guitar in that you know, 5 tapping riffs video, but you can just lean, you know, in that regard, your wrist on these strings to stop them ringing. So you can obviously use this, the palm of your other hand as well. Yeah, so I hope that helps you out. Just get that index finger working up there. All right, but great question. So again, in my math rock book, the tapping section has a whole thing about that, like, you know, placement of how to mute and where you should put your thumb, stuff like that. Okay, carrying on down. Okay, Jav, Junior, I'm going to call you that. Sorry. So that I really appreciate it. So thanks. I hope that goes well for you, whatever you decide to do. Okay, Michael. Hi. What USB audio interface should I look at to avoid white noise? Okay, I didn't know that was really a thing. I've not really had that problem. You know, I was using this one for the longest time, the Behringer UMC 404 HD, and I think I paid $100 US for that. And I used that for the longest time, and it did the job just fine. Now I've got an expensive one. I got the Claret, you know, Claret 2 pre-USB. I'm just trying to see the name of it, and yeah, I'm happy with this one too. But there's really nothing wrong with that Behringer one. So you can get obviously the 2 pre version of it, and you shouldn't have any problems there. So I'm no expert on that kind of thing. So check. You know, it's one of those things where you have to go for that trial and error of checking everything. All right. Okay, Mitar, how about Rifftops maps analysis? Yeah, of course. Piglet as well. Yeah. Are you talking about, what was that in regard to? Okay, yeah. So sorry, I'm going back up. So true writing, recording, and performing are all completely different disciplines. Yeah. I'm on tour now. I'm playing now versus my 7 months ago is night and day. Okay, excellent. Yeah. Thanks for your input there. Yeah. I'm not sure what the question is here with these bands. If you're asking if I like them, for sure, I really like those bands. Okay, so perhaps you're talking to each other, and I apologize for that. Piglet is one of those ones again. Like you know, there's like a lot of dissonance in places, but they just have these parts that are really nice and melodic. Okay, Jav Junior, yeah, good time to bring this up. Actually, you missed the message, but there's going to be the riff contest anytime soon. So it's been a while, but I'm happy to announce there will be a you know, super tuning friends. I'm not sure what episode we're on now, but it's been about half a year since I did the last one. I actually started working on that last week, so I've got the drum loop, and then I'm writing my thing over it. So it's in. I think I'm going to put it in the standards tuning, you know, the D, A, D, F sharp, A, E tuning, that's the one. It's going to be standards tuning for that one. And if you don't know what those videos are, if you go on my channel, you can find like this. It was originally called Tuning Wars, but I made it a bit more friendly and called it Super Tuning Friends. And in that video, I make a call for submissions video. So in that time, you can go and download the drum loop, write your thing in and submit it to me. And then I make a video of everybody's loops with their guitars, any instrumentation you want to use really, over the top of that. So I'm looking forward to that one. So yeah, thanks for the question. There is going to be one soon. I'm hoping it's going to be this week. I just need to get round to that. Okay, yeah, Michael, good. We need more theory videos on J-pop chord progressions. You know, there's a wonderful, I'm not sure what his name is, but there was one I watched a while ago with a guy who did some J-pop chord progressions who looks like he's living in Japan as well. And in like the vein of like Maffy styles as well. Hey, Lauren. Okay, carrying on down. Okay. Hey Kuji, good to see you again. You didn't miss it, but unfortunately I'm going to have to end in a few minutes. Oh, thanks XD. The headless guitar looks amazing. Thanks. You can see it poking out over there. I am going to make a video about it soon. Like last week was just, you know, I took the week off pretty much. So, but it's really good fun. Okay, Agatha here. Oh, okay, Agatha. George, yeah, Agatha is yeah. You know those Nates? It's okay, yeah. Check out these bands. Yeah, Agatha. I don't know any of those apart from Agatha because when I was in Japan in 2019, the drummer of Agatha was our guide around Japan, and I got the EP somewhere stacked up there that I got from them. A wonderful, wonderful group. Okay. Right. All right, carrying on down. Okay, thanks, Blue. Bittersweet Blue is your best song. You got on repeat. Excellent, yeah. A lot of the earlier stuff that I wrote for Mountains is like song ideas all squashed together. And it was like, I got this idea and let's bridge it together. And Ali and I would spend hours just trying to work out, okay, this one is at this tempo, but we can't really change it. So how can we transition from each? So on that record, there's a lot more intricacies in that regard of just us trying to glue these songs together. But sometimes I like that one. I like Bittersweet Blue. It turned out nice in the end, that one. I like the the bit with no gain on it. What was it? What have I done? It's been ages. Haven't played that song in a long time, but yeah, I like that song. And again, that one, it took a long time to glue all that middle section together, and on that outro and stuff, they're all like individual ideas. Okay, I'm gonna need to go, so I'm just looking at the last comments here. I'm sorry, Ponitante, you made it, but I'm off now. Yeah, Agatha is great. Excellent. Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Michael. So, yeah, should be back next week, same time on Monday. If not, if I can't do it on the Monday, I'll move it to a different day, but I'll let you know. So really appreciate you all hanging out today. Go and tune your guitars to FACGCE and have some fun. So if you would like any of the lesson content, I'm going to throw that up on Patreon now, and you can go and get that. I'll put a link in the description of this video when that is done. So thanks for today, everyone, and I will see you all Monday. This week, there'll hopefully be a video, the Super Tuning Friends one, on Wednesday if I get round to it, and then there'll be just a regular video on Friday. All right, stay safe, everyone. Have a great week, and see you all probably next Monday. All right, bye-bye.